Class is now in session. Join the Podcast Mogul Phil Better as he gives you tips, techniques, and strategies to grow and monetize your podcast. Live in his Facebook group, The Better Method of Daily Audience Growth for Independent Podcasters. Learn from him and his special guests as they help you become the next podcast superstar. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, podcasters of all ages, put your hands together for your host, Phil Better. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. You know what time it is. It is Invest in Yourself, the podcast series time where I, the Podcast Mogul, Phil Better, help you, the independent podcaster, grow your show to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so happy to have you here today in this exclusive episode of Invest in Yourself, the podcast series. Today, guys, if you have not been a part of the email list, you know what you do. You need to subscribe to that because every Monday I send out a way to monetize a podcast in a new and inventive way for yourselves. So I'm very happy to have that. I've been getting a lot of feedback. So do yourself a favor and check it out. Will is in the house. Thank you, Will, for tuning in. I always love seeing you in the comments and have a great time with you. I'm not sure who you are, but good evening, sir, as well. Guessing you're maybe Adam Millichip, maybe? Or good day to you as well, Facebook user. I'm not on Facebook. If you are watching this live or in the replays, I thank you very much. If you're hitting us in the replay, hashtag replay gang. But yes, I love seeing you all in the comics. Angela, thank you very much for tuning in. It's always a pleasure seeing you. You guys should check out her podcast. Angela, please link to your podcast on Podopolo, because you know this podcast may not be directly supported by Podopolo, but it is you, if you listen over to Invest in Yourself, the podcast series on Podopolo, are helping me get monetized by being a member of Podopolo. So yes, go check it out on Podopolo. Use the Podopolo link in the show notes. And Adam, thank you so much for being here. It's always a pleasure to have you here. So now that we got all those little random introductions, you guys know I want to get you to think about one thing this episode. This is the episode my boy Will is shouting out Podopolo. He sent me some behind the screen stats of his podcast, just using a few clips, like in 3 or 4 days, and it blew up. Like, it's insane, like how powerful this tool is. So if you don't know, now you know. But we have some, I have a video on it where I talk with Rob Attix, the podcast evangelicist. I don't know how you pronounce whatever. He's the dude that is helping podcasters onboard to Podopolo. Make sure you check out that. It is in the Facebook group. If you're watching live, it's pinned to the favorites. It will always be pinned to the favorites, so you guys can check that out every episode. I will also link to the YouTube video in the comments down below. I need to get that on. But yes, anyways. So yes, Podopolo, very important because this actually helps you with today's session, what we're talking about today. So today's episode, this is what you're going to take away from today's episode. If anything, you're going to learn the power of an ideal audience avatar. Okay. So a lot of people have seen me on Facebook and on LinkedIn, Twitter, everywhere else. I usually post, maybe not Twitter, because right now it's a cesspool and I'm not having fun with it. But at least on Facebook and LinkedIn, talking about an ideal audience avatar. What is it? Why am I sprouting this out to all high heavens? Well, it's very, very important that you know who you're talking to. Right? If you think about it, this podcast is being broadcasted into a group that's specifically designed for independent podcasters, but more importantly, independent podcasters that are looking for a better method of daily audience growth. That is who this show is for. It's for the independent podcaster out there that doesn't have the time to spend hours and hours trying to figure out the next marketing boom or how to leverage Facebook or Instagram or the next social media. I want to teach you guys the fundamentals of marketing your podcast so that you get that daily audience growth, so you can see your podcast grow over and over to a point where you're starting earning an income from it that actually can help replace your day-to-day job so you can do what you love, which is podcasting. That's my goal, so that you know. So you know who my audience is. I know exactly who I need to talk to because my audience are people who want to grow their independent podcasters who want to grow their podcast every day with a daily audience growth. So now I know who I'm talking to. Now you can get more specific. You know what's great about that? Now I know exactly what kind of products, if I want to sell to you, to help me grow. Like I brought you Podopolo a couple of weeks ago. People are eating it up. Will is shouting to high heavens. I've never seen a man talk about it more than I do. I've dropped Podopolo in every single episode in the Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur podcast, in this podcast, in any future podcast I go on. I just drop Podopolo, because I just want Google to catch on and say, oh, this guy is connected and give me all the backlinks to Podopolo. Again, dropping the word Podopolo. But also, I have something coming up in the new year with a tool that can help you. We're just finalizing because I have the rest of the year planned out for episodes for you guys. So I don't want to mix up because this tool is great, but I want to get a few more use cases out of it myself before I say, hey, you guys need to jump on this. But this is what it is. This show is for that podcaster who only has 15 minutes to figure out, okay, what am I doing? How can I learn and take my podcast to the next level? That's what this show is about. It's twofold, really. This right now, these one-off episodes, which will start being airing in January on the podcast feed. That's one set of episodes. The other one is for people who want to learn about different podcasts, but also learn from podcasters, not just myself. So I have them on as an interview-based way so that I can get people like, hey, I want a true crime podcast. I can go, hey, listen to this. And I'm supporting independent podcasters. So that's what this show is about. It's going to be reformulated, and a relaunch will happen in January. As you guys know, I record all my things in batches. So this is what we're doing. This is what I want to explain to you guys so you know what's going forward in the new year, what's planning to happen. Friday Lives will always continue to be like this. I will teach you guys something. There will be also special interviews at least once or twice a month with companies that either help podcasters or changing the game for podcasters, or I think you guys can use to help monetize your podcast. So that's what the Friday shows are going to have. But there will always be lessons, at least 2 lessons a month, where I'm talking about something to help you guys grow. Okay. I'm taking the time to invest in myself and invest in my skills to make podcasting my lifeblood, and it already is. And I want to teach you guys so that you guys can learn how to make your podcast, your monetization, and grow from there. Now, so just right there, that tells you who my audience is. I know exactly who my audience is, so I know exactly what to get to you guys. I know it's Will. I know he wants to grow his podcast because he has a budding podcast production company, or media company, if you will. I know Adam is doing amazing work with his students to help build their confidence with his autistic students, right? And that is helping them with skills for them to be able to take into the real world and show the real world that they're not just, they have autism. No, they're more than that. They have these skills that are actually actionable, so you can see that they can do things. You have Angela, who's teaching leaders to take accountability and become their own person and become a better leader. And of course, the hundreds of other podcasts that I've talked to. You have Horror with Sir Sturdy, showing the world the beauty of some amazingly cheesy horror movies, but also just great horror films in general and those undiscovered gems. That is the point of this show, and that's what I do. Okay. So that is my audience. My audience. I know who it is. I know what I can do to help them. I have to find the stuff that will help them grow their stuff. Invest, find the money, get the income, learn a new skill, teach it to you guys so that you guys can go off and become bigger and bigger superstars. And then you go back, and when you're superstars and you're like, yeah, I remember when I started, I can thank Phil for that. And I'll be just like sitting around in my rocking chair because I'm so old. But yeah, that is who my ideal audience. That's what you can do about it. Think about every single one of your podcasts. Who is your ideal audience? Who is the one person you want to listen to your show and get something out of it? How are you serving that person? So, why having an ideal audience avatar is important, because then you know who you're talking to. Then every single question you ever have, you can always revert back to, will this person enjoy it? Not will other people enjoy it? No. I'm only looking to help one person. Every single episode I'm helping one person. I know horror was so sturdy. My boy Aaron doesn't have one, and I mentioned that he should be listening to this, so I'm going to tag him in there. But if someone else can tag him to get him in this, and then invite him and like just annoy him to get him into this to watch this, please do that for me. That will be chef kiss. But yes, look, I look to help one person each episode, so I know who to help each episode. Angela asked me a question. I'm like, okay, I have to build a show that will make sure that Angela is okay and understands the point. And it was the hook point episode. Angela got so much, and I've helped her since then. Every single episode I do is because I get a question from my audience. So I make an episode for that person so I can distill my knowledge into there. What that does is I never have to worry about will I get a download. I know I will, because I'm helping one person. I know that person's question is probably asked by at least 20 other people. Okay, so if you have an episode, if you have a show about business, be specific about what business, who you're helping, why you want to help them, who is that, why are you helping this person, how can you serve this person with your episode. So that's something you want to take away from how to create your ideal audience. Look, you can create it 1,000 different ways. You can search online for ideal client templates, and you can use that. But what I like to do is I like to start at a base, because it takes a lot of work. So look at who you are today and look 5 years ago. What kind of show would you want to have listened to 5 years ago, so that you can be entertained or you could be educated? When you start from that place, you start from able to help yourself, because you are helping yourself with those episodes, but also you can see the other interests that people you had, and then you can I want to cater more towards these interests or that interest, and it helps you get a specific demographic. So when you do go to sponsors, you already have a demographic created because it's you 5 years ago. That is what's going to help you build the best ideal audience avatar, because those are the episodes, that's the show that you'll have the most passion for, because it's a show you wanted to create and listen to when you were younger. That's how you're going to avoid burnout. That's how you're gonna avoid selling a show short when you go to advertisers. Thank you, Angela. It is a good point, because listen, I created this show because I was fed up of having shows give long-winded. I know I'm getting long-winded, and it's annoying, but I wanted a show that would, yeah, it's true. It also helps make sure you get your vibe. Yeah, it helps you find your voice, because you know how to speak to that person. You know exactly who you're speaking to because you speak the same language as them. And one of the reasons why I created this show was because I didn't like the shows, like nothing to take away from grow your show, grow your own show, the Pat Flynn shows, all the other amazing podcasts that are out there that help podcasters grow their podcast, monetize their podcast, and teach this. They do amazing work, and their episodes are good, but they're not for me 100%, because it's not talking to how I like to learn, like how I want to get better. So I created a show for me. I want to help creators, because not a lot of creators understand how that their art or their work is business. It is a business, it's a product. And that's why I want to help the independent podcaster change their mind about what their podcast is about, because I wanted to be taught that when I was younger. And that helps me connect with my audience, who are you guys, because you guys are who I was 5 years ago. You guys are lost, not sure where to go, who to trust. Well, I'm showing you how to do it because I'm showing you that what I paid for to share with you. So creating that audience avatar allows you to, and making it someone you 5 years ago allows you to connect authentically with them and be able to share authenticity with them and make sure you are delivering the best content. I'm trying to take my content up for next year so that you guys have amazing content that can help you grow, but also that I can monetize myself so that I can make a bigger impact on you guys. I want to show you how paid ad works for your podcast. I want to spend money because I started using paid ads and it worked. It was interesting. I want to do that with my podcast, specifically with Pedopolo, see how that can work. I want to, see how it can help me grow my podcast, how I can see that if there is an increase in downloads and over time, if the downloads stay, I want to do that and then learn how to monetize that for you guys. I want to put in the money, my own money, to help you guys learn so that when you do start using ads, you don't have to worry about the steep learning curve. You have someone who's like shown you, hey, don't do this, don't do that, do this. This is a better idea, and over here is better, because that's going to allow you guys to take your podcast up a level and become better. So what can you do with your audience avatar? Going back to my points, well, you can figure out products to monetize, sell them if you're looking to monetize, but you also know where they are on the internet, so you can communicate directly with them. I know my audience avatar is in podcast support groups, podcast promotion groups, podcast, podcast, anything about podcasting. My ideal avatar is in there. My audience avatar is in there. So I add as much value as I can to those groups. So even if they're not in this group, they're at least finding those posts that are telling them, this is how you do this, this is how you do that. So when they don't, someone asks a question, they can be, hey, you need to see this article over here, or post comment on that, and that's going to help build up my, not only my credibility, but it's going to help out the community in general. It's going to change the groups from spamming listen to my podcast to actually providing feedback and better support within the community. So that is what you can do. You can find out where they hang out online. You can be able to find or create products that you can get to them in a low value item, like at $5. They can purchase that and they can support you, but they're also getting something out of it. You know how to talk to them about that product, how to pitch them. So guys, this is the episode. I thank you so much for tuning in. I love all your faces. Remember, creating an audience avatar is not hard. Just make a show for you 5 years ago, and that's going to be able to help you take it to the next level. If you guys are interested, sorry, I have a pitch. I know, I hate it. Ooh. Phil, why are you pitching us something? This is something actually to help you. Let me bring up all of it because I want to give you this stuff. Inc.com. I know my buddy's going to hate me if I don't do this, Mastermind. Should be working. Come on, buddy. There we go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, go over to feelbetterinc.com/mastermind. Yes, that's feelbetterinc.com/mastermind. I have a podcast mastermind called the Pod Mastermind to help you take your podcasting to the next level. It's Podcast Mastermind, holding you accountable. It's coaching. It's everything you want to learn about monetizing and growing your podcast. I'll put the link in the comments down below as well. Even if you're already a successful podcaster, we can help you grow. We've helped podcasters double their email list, land multiple sponsorships. We've helped 2 podcasters launch their podcast to success. Just head over to feelbetterinc.com/ Mastermind, and you can get the cost is so it's $250 a month, but you can buy 3 months for $600. It's an opportunity that you guys can take. You can pay month to month, or you can pay in 3 month slots. Just join us. It's best for you guys. Like, you'll get the testimonials over there. But yes, just check out feelbetterinc.com/mastermind today to get more information on the pod mastermind. Thank you so much. And remember, guys, oops, wait there, to invest in yourself.